everyone, and welcome to day 11 of my horror movie review marathon, and I've got your Child's Play 2019 movie review. Chucky is back, but maybe not the same good guy doll we all remember. Was this movie good or bad? So as far as the story goes, this 2019 remake of the original 1988 Child's Play felt like it was made for this generation, especially when you have a completely different origin story that has been replaced with this technologically advanced version of the killer doll, who is now referred to as a buddy doll and not a good guy doll. Now, while this concept actually seems completely out of the toy box, it worked because perhaps audiences will relate better to this movie, especially with using the technology such as pairing your phone, your smartphone, with this doll, and it just seemed like a pretty interesting concept instead of a serial killer that uses some kind of voodoo to place himself inside of a doll to escape the police. This different origin story does give a more realistic approach to this character, and it did seem kind of interesting. And of course, I was a fan of the original Child's Play, and even if it might be a little bit dated now, I can see why they wanted to remake it. And I was originally against it. I wanted to still see it just to see, what the heck this doll was going to be capable of, because that doll was ugly as F. As far as the casting goes, you've got Aubrey Plaza. At least that's one of the major actors in this movie, who I'm not a huge fan of, but actually she was really good as Andy's mom. And of course, the character of Andy, I felt like his acting seemed to be too old, because the original Andy actor was much younger than this character in this movie, and it seemed like he was too old to be playing with dolls. And I don't know why any of these people would want to play with a doll. I mean, you could just play with your smartphones, even if your smartphone is attached to the doll to make it work and do stuff and turn your home into a smart home. It's like the equivalent of an Apple product or the like. The only reason to want to see this movie is to hear a new actor portraying Chucky. And originally, Chucky was being voiced by Brad Dourif, who had played him in all of the movies, the previous Child's Play movies. But this time, Mark Hamill is stepping into this doll's persona and just really getting into it. And I actually found him to be pretty entertaining. I thought he was hilarious at times and even terrifying at times. He did voice the Joker in the Batman animated series, so of course he was going to pull this off, and I literally had no doubt in my mind he was going to do a pretty decent job. So I was really happy to see him tackle on this character. But any of the other characters in this movie really didn't do much for me. They just were kind of annoying. The things that I liked about this movie was that it was suspenseful at times and put me on the edge whenever the doll would, come on screen, because the doll would, pop out of nowhere, or he would just randomly disappear and you'd think he was there. So then the jump scares, of course, didn't quite scare me like they would other people who might see this movie. Really, the third act alone of this movie, it felt silly, but equally satisfying with everything that was going on, because when this doll actually does do some things to people, it does become very terrifying, like I said, with the Chucky character. But unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was that some parts of the movie felt slow, or they dragged on a bit, and to the point where I was just like, I wanted to see more exciting things happening. I really wanted to see more. And yes, there are some things in this movie that are obviously different from the original because it's playing off of with the times. Sometimes some things worked and other things did not. So overall, I would say that, this movie still, it impressed me for what it's worth, and I think I would, give it a chance, and I would recommend it to other people, whether or not you've seen the original or you're hesitant on seeing this. I still think it is, worth a watch. So I would give this 4 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Child's Play 2019, and come back tomorrow for day 12 of my horror movie review marathon. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, come back every week for a Trail Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.